Hello, and welcome to this juicy conversation. Highly sensitive, wildly successful. Today, I'm in conversation with Boe Huntress. Boe is a singer, a songwriter, a performer, and she's also a facilitator and mentor of highly sensitive people, which is specifically why I have invited her here today to talk to and with all of us. And she supports herself and others to harness the skills that come with being sensitive. I saw Boe at the Union Chapel, where she was an artist in residence. I went with my sister, actually. It was a present from my sister Hannah. It was amazing to go with her. And we saw your album, Boe. We saw you perform your album, Women Power, a female power. Yeah. And it was such an experience for the senses. You know, there was songs, there was glitter, there was stones, there was paint, there was movement, there was darkness, there was adventure. It was such a delicious experience of witnessing your full creativity, your female power out in full force. So thank you for creating that experience for us all, Boe. And I know you're going to sing a little for us here today, which is really exciting. But before we do that, I'd love to hear from your perspective, how has learning about sensitivity benefited you and your life?
Yeah, great question. Hello, everyone. It's really lovely to be here with you all. I think it really was a bit of a game changer for me to discover this trait of high sensitivity because, just having always been sensitive and felt like it was quite a personal thing. It was a sort of personality thing of my own. And then to actually discover that it's something that roughly 20% of the population have. And it just explained so much for me. And it also gave me a lot of permission, really, to just be how I am. Yeah. And that's so important, isn't it, on that journey of self-acceptance, to just begin to see it as like, oh, this is something that is really, really powerful, actually. And it's just powerful in a different way to the way that our culture understands power and strength. It has a different way of moving, and that's really, that there's a real purpose to it, and that there's a real power to it. Yeah. And I think then just working out, like, what do I need to do in order to sort of thrive as a highly sensitive person, and making those kind of adjustments for myself.
Yeah,
that's really helped.
I'm really curious, when you were in that place in your life where you thought it was just a way that you had, like part of your personality, what did you then make that mean?
Yeah, good question. I think really, I guess if I was in my critical self-critic, I thought that I was quite like easily upset, or just kind of quite inconsistent as well, like 1 minute this, then I'm there, and just maybe a little bit kind of like all over the place, and but also just like being able to cry and being able to feel my feelings, and I did feel that was a wonderful thing, but I definitely had some feedback that it wasn't. Right. From like my family, and it was kind of like, wow, yeah, you're crying again. That kind of thing.
Oh, I love that. And so with that, what did you make it mean about the world?
I think it's funny, because I think I did think the world was too loud, and the world was, just kind of hadn't thought things through, that like the lighting. Anybody who goes to school and is under strip lights, it's just like, what is this? what is this horrific, and yeah, just the constant noise. I mean, school is a massive one, that going to school and having all of that noise, all of that lighting, all of those people, just so much. So I did just think that the world was pretty brash, but I kind of thought it was me, like, oh, I don't find this very easy and other people do. But since discovering more about high sensitivity, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, the world's not set up for it. And so yeah, I mean, I'm currently writing a novel at the moment that's set in the future, and it's a sort of feminist sci-fi novel, and the whole world is really oriented around sensitivity and that being seen as a real valuable thing. So I've kind of I've turned it around to be like, what if actually the 20%, what if the world was geared up for that minority? And I actually think that that's a really good question in general, like not just with high sensitivity, but like, what would happen if we put minorities in the center? What if we catered to the people who get pushed out for various reasons and in various ways? What if we created our society around those people, and really getting that the people who are often pushed to the margins really hold something for the whole?
Absolutely. Those different dissenting voices, and giving them space, actually listening, acting on what is heard, and just the magic of different perspectives, right? Could create a lot of change in our world. Gosh, well, I can't wait to dive into your novel. That sounds wonderful. It sounds like the novel version of my literal vision for our world, a world where we are turning on the radio, podcasts, television, and the voices that we're hearing are varied and different, and we all understand that we don't have to agree or be the same in order to get along. Beautiful. And you talked a bit about sensitivity as being this different power. Can you talk more to that? What do you see or feel there?
Well, I guess it's that thing of really being able to sense a deeper level, and so including like what people are feeling and what's really going on, like quite often people are saying one thing, but you can feel that there's something else going on. So it's like there's something very honest about it. I think often people can sometimes find highly sensitive people a bit frightening to be around, because we can tell when people are lying. So that sort of natural lie detector, and just being very tuned in. I think like being very tuned into another realm, another voice, another way of being, and the slowness as well, that actually the power of taking time and processing and just slowly moving through life is just a really powerful way to be, I think.
So powerful, and such a different way to experience life when you give yourself permission, isn't it, to go at your natural pace, to not push through, rush or artificially rev up. I held for the first year, I've been in business 7 years, and for the first time this year at Christmas, I had like the support in place in terms of a team and the headspace enough in advance to plan a Christmas party for my clients. And it was such a delicious experience. Everyone, I created opportunities for everyone to celebrate themselves. And every single person, I could feel them tuning in first as they stood up, taking a breath. And then the words they spoke, because they'd done that, was so alive and full. So the quality of listening, both to themselves and to the others, I actually haven't experienced that anywhere else. And it was so soothing for my nervous system. And I could feel this soothing experience sort of ripple in a soothing way around the table, because it's so peaceful to know that when you speak, there's going to be space. And no one's going to interrupt you or kind of snatch the conversation away or turn it to their own agenda. It's going to have a space to land in.
Yes. I think that's why I really love facilitating groups myself, is because it is so beautiful to be able to communicate in that way where, you know, everybody's going to have space, that everybody's listening on a deeper level, that's what's shared is going to actually be very real. And, you know, I've held circles and groups for lots of different people, not just highly sensitive people. And I feel like everybody appreciates or benefits from that environment, that the sense of like, it's okay, everybody's going to get their turn. We're all really listening, we're all really present. And so bringing more of those kind of spaces into the world in general, I think is really exciting.
Really exciting. And I know that you have a song that's actually called Slow. Do you want to speak a bit more specifically to that song, maybe to what was happening in your life as you wrote it? Like, what's the story of Slow?
Gosh, I actually probably wrote this song quite a long time ago now, 10 years or so. And I was thinking a lot about sex at the time, and it's really a song about the way that I like to do sex. And actually it was one of those songs where I said to myself beforehand, like, what would I write if I took my inner critic away? If I just put that to one side and nobody ever has to hear this, I'm just going to express myself, what would come out? And this is the song that came out. And so I think I thought it would be a very taboo thing. And it took me a while to actually be able to play it to other people, because it felt quite sort of personal. But people have always really loved this song. I think it's saying something that maybe just doesn't get said. And it was also partly in response, I think I'd watched a documentary about sort of like violent pornography and how that is shaping like particularly young straight guys into thinking that that's actually what women want. And so it was also part of an expression around like, this isn't what I want. And I know I'm only one person or one woman, but just to put another sort of perspective out there of like, actually for me it's really important that sex and any kind of sexual intimacy is very slow, so that I can keep feeling in and checking in with myself, like, is this what I want? Is this a yes? You know, and sometimes when things go too fast, you don't get a chance to really sort of feel that or check that, and then you've gone over your boundaries, and then it's hard to go back from there. So just actually like moving at the pace that you can really be in your choice and in your pleasure, and also to just to enjoy it more.
All of which is so vital, such an important part, if not the conversation we need to be having when we're talking about sex.
Yes, totally. And you know, I think since I wrote the song, we've obviously had the whole Me Too movement, and you know, a lot more talking about what is and isn't okay, and like consent really kind of coming onto the agenda in a big way. But certainly when I wrote this song, it was definitely something I was feeling was like, consent needs to be really there, and and the slowness for me is part of that. Like, can I feel my consent if everything's just really rushed?
Absolutely. Consent is such a subtle topic, isn't it? And boundaries are such a subtle topic. It's, you know, yes to this, but no to that, or yes to this now, but no to that now.
Absolutely.
And you can't know that, be aware of that, and have the space to speak that if you're going too fast for your system.
Yes, exactly.
So should we hear Slow?
Yeah. Have you heard this song yourself before?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah. Okay, great.
Love it. I'm gonna sit back and enjoy, and I'm gonna mute myself so you have the best quality sound, I think.
Great, thanks. Where did you get those ideas from? Was it in a magazine? Or from the moving pictures on a TV screen? Or from the lonely nights in your bedroom when virtual reality was the only company you got? Or did they tell you in the locker room? Or did they tell you in the school classroom? 'Cause I like it slow, and I like it soft, so I can feel every touch. You know there's nothing much that we're doing, we're just being here now. With nothing to prove and nothing to gain, with nothing to lose. If we let go into the simplest flow, and I just want to move with you and see what happens. And the more you're here, the more I open. And I don't have an idea or an expectation, so let's just breathe and be and wait. Or did they tell you in the locker room? Or did we make all of those women do? 'Cause I like it slow, and I like it soft, so I can feel every touch. You know there's nothing much we're doing, we're just being here now. With nothing to prove and nothing to gain, with nothing to lose. If we let go into the simplest flow, and can you forget everything you know? I need you here, I want you just as you are.
Delicious. Thank you so much for that, Bo.
Pleasure.
I had a little look in the group as you were singing so beautifully, and I want to say hi to people watching along. Hi Jen, hi Joe, hello Wendy, hi Angela, hi Megan. Jen Marinelle sings stunning. Thank you for your singing, Bo. And yes, there is resonance, as I imagine there would be, with the inconsistency. They're like, why is it so hard to be consistent? Which is one of these things that when we are women, in business, kind of on this path of wanting to share our gifts with the world, it's like hammered into us, right? That's something we need to be. And I think there is an extra level of struggle for sure with that when you're highly sensitive. I know that's been a sheer cliff face learning curve for me, is how to navigate that one.
Yeah, totally. I think I was posting yesterday on Facebook about this, about how for me I've started to track my sensitivity so that when I'm feeling a day where I feel very highly sensitive, it's just like kind of tracking, what is that? Where is that kind of coming from? And that it tends to either be something sort of outside of me, like, it's a full moon, or there's something I'm feeling that's just sort of more collective.
Yeah.
Or there will be something in my own life that has sort of triggered me. And just actually kind of getting like, okay, so depending on the sort of thing that's causing my high sensitivity, I can respond in different ways to that. So if it is just, say, the moon, then it's just like, okay, I'm just going to spend some time tuning in and really feeling this. And if it's a personal thing, it's like, maybe I need to do a bit of processing around that. Maybe I need to talk about it with someone. And not to have to fix any of it, but just to kind of get like, what are my arcs and my rhythms? And so that inconsistency, it's like one day everything's totally fine and I'm just going along as normal, and then suddenly out of nowhere it would often feel like I'm sort of taken out of the game in a way. And so for me to actually understand when that happens, why that happens, how to respond to it, has been really empowering, to actually not see it as a problem, but just be like, I'm being pulled all the time by these different forces and energies in my own life and in the world around me, and the universe.
and collective, right? Society, what's happening. I know that on like this similar journey of learning to discern, okay, no, this is mine, and I need to go and find a safe space to love my way through this, or like, okay, it's the moon and this is just the energy that is here right now. Then there came this other piece that I noticed, which was big things happening in the collective. Like I remember the couple of days coming up to the London bombings. I was just anxious 24/7, and I'm not an anxious person. And I was like, what is happening? And then I couldn't get the read on it. I was like, no, it's not me. Doesn't feel like it's anything kind of energetic in terms of universe, cosmic. And then the bombings happened, and it was like, and so since then, when I've had those feelings, there's been something to look out for as well, like something happening collectively.
That's amazing. I mean, it does feel very exciting to me what's possible, like for us to actually maybe on some level we know what is going to happen, and like there's some frustration in me that we were never taught how to use these skills, and we're just learning ourselves, aren't we? But it's like actually, and that's part of, I'm starting a little club called Hello Sensitive that is going to be like a monthly ongoing rolling group, and part of it is that for me is this desire for us to help each other to really hone those skills because nobody's taught us, nobody's ever going to teach us, so we need to teach each other and really help each other to be like, what if you took that really to the extreme? So what if when you're feeling that anxious feeling, you kind of asked, what is it? So that, like, obviously it's good for you to know there's something to watch out for, but maybe there's even a bigger purpose of being able to see into the future.
I mean, really feel that potential, and the importance that we understand that we're doing this together because we weren't taught. And I remember hearing Martha Beck, like amazing life coach, trainer and author, really creative, wild spirit. I remember her talking about highly sensitive people as the children who in another time, another place would have been noticed, by the leaders, the shamans, the curanderas, like whatever the word of that culture was for the magic ones, right? The healers, they'd have been noticed, and those people would have said, this one's different, this one needs special training. And what I really want is to support us to get to a place where we fully understand that these skills, these ways of seeing, these kind of extra sensory ways of knowing are real. Like, so many people come to me and they say, oh, I know this is a bit weird, but, or this is so strange, but, there's always like that little caveat at the beginning of the journey. And then when we get to the point where they're just saying the thing without the caveat, I'm like, yes, it just is. This is how you're experiencing the world, and it's real and it's valid.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And it's so magical as well to have this ability to access something else. Yeah. And I guess for me, sorry, as a creative person, there is also, I mean, we're all creative people, don't know why I say that, but there is a sense of writing songs for me is a feeling of channeling something. And I don't often talk about it like that because people are like, ooh, what are you talking about? But the experience of it feels like that. It feels like something is coming through me, I am receiving something, and for me it's always a sort of a mystery how a song gets written. And
I have a question for you about that, actually. It's come from the group. It's come from Val Duren in the group, and she's asked whether you have a process for writing. She referenced my process, which is the wild voice process. So when I'm working with clients on how to show up in their marketing, which in the context of this conversation feels like entirely the wrong word, but really it's about how to show up to the right people in the way that has them go, ooh ooh, that there's something there for me. I'm gonna kind of lean towards this person. Practically that means I'm gonna follow them, or I'm gonna sign up to their newsletter, because I want to hear more from them. I want to hear more of this voice, these conversations. I want more of this energy in my life. And so what I use with my clients is I call it the wild voice. So do you have something for you that helps guide you into to be open to receive and to channel?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things. Like, one is just generally like really taking care of myself as a kind of base level. It's like, am I feeling connected? Am I feeling open? Do I have everything around me to help me to do that? Like, am I spending time in nature and eating well, and all of those things, so that I can be this kind of open, connected being that's ready to receive. So that's actually a massive part of it, I think. Am I ready to receive? And then also, like, I tend to feel a song from coming so you know, like a couple of days or even weeks beforehand, this sense of, and it is just like hearing something on the wind, which is like maybe the theme or maybe the tune or but yeah, so there is a process of kind of listening as this thing gets closer. And then it's about for me, the process that I use musically is I would sit with an instrument, sometimes a piano, but mainly the guitar, and we'll just kind of get into a bit of a like trance state, I guess, where I'm doing something very repetitive on the guitar. So then I'm just going into a slightly altered state from that repetition, where my left brain is more over there. And so I'm in more of a right brain state, and then I will just see what happens. So there's a kind of like singing words, playing chords, you know, and it's all, for me, it kind of all comes together in a, some people write words first, some people write music first. For me, it all just sort of combines and something happens. And then I just tend to sing that over and over, whatever is coming through, I sing it over and over. So I kind of like lock it in and then feel for the next line or the next bit. So yeah, that's my process.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Thank you. And I love that your main job is to take care of yourself. Right? Like my main job is to take care of myself so that I'm ready to receive the songs and then to listen. Right? To take care of yourself into this.
Yeah, and that kind of includes, for me, that kind of includes like not getting involved in too many dramas, like personal interpersonal dramas. It's like, no, there was some point where I was like, I'm going to stop doing that and getting drawn into things that would take my energy on that level. I'm going to create space in my day-to-day life for this, to be able to receive. So boundaries again.
I'd love to hear you speak more to that, because I think it's such an important point. The things that you have to say no to in order to be a yes to your calling, to your creativity. How did you do that? What did that take? What did that take?
Definitely some trial and error. I think it's uncomfortable to say no often, which I'm sure, like, I think especially when you're a highly sensitive person, you feel what others are feeling, and there is that deep sense of care that's there. And so, for me, managing how much I feel around the other person, and so really having to bring my energy back to myself, and to trust that what is good for me will in some way be good for this other person as well, or people. And really bringing the energy into that, and having that sort of self-acceptance as well that we talked about, of it's okay for me to need what I need. It's okay for me to do what I need to do. And because I think we can often feel like we exist for other people in some sense. And so, getting that sense of like, if I really am going to do my job in the world, then I do need to follow that sense of what is right for me. And that's not always going to make sense to other people. So a bit of that as well, just like having to let go of the fear of other people's judgment, and and it's practice as well, you know, like practicing saying no. Sometimes I will still like talk that out with somebody else, like a close friend, or, you know, like, I want to say this to this person, you know, like there needs to be a little practice in me to like really find what is the essence of this that I need to communicate. All of that's really helpful.
I love that. That's such a wonderfully highly sensitive person thing to do, isn't it? Like, let me practice, let me fine tune, let me, like, oh no, that wasn't quite the message. I'm glad I didn't say that to the person. Like, oh, this is the message. Okay, now I'm ready. Like, tuning yourself, getting ready. That's beautiful. So we've talked about this, beautiful ability you have to be ready for the songs that come, to channel them, and we've talked about this concept or truth. If you're listening and you want to take it on, if it feels true for you, that the highly sensitive people are the ones who are here to be the healers, the guides. And for me, this links in really nicely with your song, Witch Hunter.
Yes.
Right. Is there anything that you want to say about Witch Hunter in this context, or anything that feels alive for you right now?
Perhaps I'll just give context for the song. It's that feeling some of you may have, that I certainly have, which is that I think I was a witch in a different life. And kind of the whole witch hunting time of the 16th and 17th century in Europe, particularly, feeling like very aligned with that sense of like, I think I probably was burned as a witch or something in another life. And even if that's just an idea, it doesn't, whatever we think about past lives, but just this sense of like, I think that I know that terror. I know that terror of being sort of castigated for my intuitive gifts. So maybe just connecting to the story of that, of what happened to all of those incredibly intuitive women and some men at that time. And so the song is actually this kind of, you can't kill the magic, and then it comes back, and I will rise and I will live again. And but there also being a kind of bit of a love story between the witch hunter and the witch. So this kind of like, like we had this beautiful love story, and then you kind of turned and took me as a witch. And maybe that also just speaks to the kind of betrayal that we can feel sometimes around those that we love, either not getting us, not seeing us, or punishing us in some way. And so there's quite a lot of layers.
I love that. I don't know if you've seen, it kind of did the rounds as both a meme and also as like on a t-shirt, and it said, we are the granddaughters of the witches who didn't burn. But it's also true that we're the granddaughters, we're the grandchildren of the witch hunters.
Yes.
And so we have it all inside us, this potential for magic, and then this fear of the magic, and this need, this sense of need to shut it down because of how scary it is. And as you said, that word betrayal, right? That betrayal wound that just runs through us all, sisters that turned on sisters, lovers that turned on lovers. So it's huge, and there's a lot of healing that needs to happen in this realm, and for me this song is a part of that healing. So I know you're going to need a moment to tune.
I'll just quickly tune my guitar. You keep talking for a moment.
I will. I'm going to have a look in our group and see if there's anything else to respond to. Hi Jax, lovely to have you here with us. Wendy's saying, I love the expression natural lie detector. We feel it in our bodies. I feel it like either dissonance or congruence. So if someone's speaking to me and my body's going like jar, there's some level of untruth going on. And then when my body feels really soft and comfortable, then I know that there's a congruence between voice, message, and messenger. Angela's asking if Bo has the lyrics printed somewhere. I'll check in on that. There's a nod, so that's a yes, Angela. And Val saying, I totally resonate with the frustration of not being taught about our sensitivities or having valued in the way it absolutely should be. Yeah, one of my dreams one day, you know, and I think this is why I got started so young with such a commitment to my purpose, is because there are many strands to the dream that are going to need to happen before my time is done. And one of them is a school for highly sensitive children, with teachers who understand what it requires to teach these. That's amazing. Children. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
Do it.
It's not soon. I can, you know, the vision is it's kind of far out, but maybe within a decade. So yeah, if anyone else wants to get going on that first, please do. You know, I have no I'm not like, it's mine, I must do it. You can start, and then I'll come add my magic to the vision. And Angela's found your lyrics already, so that's wonderful.
Great. Yeah, I think they're on YouTube.
Perfect. Perfect. So we're coming towards the end of our time together. So let's hear your song. If anyone has any like absolute burning questions, and yes, deliberate pun, pop them in the group now, and I'll see if I can sneak a little bit more of Bo's time, but we'll be wrapping up in the next 10 minutes.
Great.
Okay. Let's hear Witch Hunter.
Many years ago, I used to fly in the unknown. I used to heal, I used to know all the secrets of the land in intuitive ways and mysterious rhythms. And I felt the fire and I faced the water when you came with your fear. So scared of my power, you hated what you didn't know, what you couldn't control. But I loved you, I loved you, I loved you first. I loved you, I loved you, and I will love you till the last. I will love you till the last. 'Cause you can't kill love, no. You can't kill magic, you can't kill love. I will fly, I will rise, I'm coming back. You can't burn my magic, magic, magic. You can't drown my magic, magic, magic. You can't burn my magic, magic, magic. You can't drown my magic, magic, magic. Many years ago, you used to come, you used to sit, you used to ask, you used to worship at my temple in your glory. You knew your power and your heart. But one day there came a fear, there came a pain, and you didn't want to feel it, so you made it mine, and it killed me. But I loved you, I loved you, I loved you first. I loved you, I loved you, and I will love you till the last. I will love you till the last. 'Cause you can't kill love, no. You can't kill magic, you can't kill love, no. I will fly, I will rise, I'm coming back. You can't burn my magic, magic, magic. You can't drown my magic, magic, magic. You can't burn my magic, magic, magic. You can't drown my magic, magic, magic. I wear it on my lips, and I wear it in my hips, and I keep it on my fingertips, and I wear it on my lips. 'Cause you can't kill love, no.
Yes. Oh, you can't kill magic. You can't kill love. Oh.
It's a fun one. There's actually a new-ish song, and it's not out yet, but it will be this year to the public. Yeah.
Tell us what's coming, Bo. So you've got a new album, you've got a new circle for highly sensitive people. Tell us what's coming and how people can stay in touch with you.
Thanks. I've got an album called 13 Queens. It's coming out this year. So that song's on there, and a number of other songs. I'm not quite sure exactly when, but sometime this year. So just keep an eye on things, or you can sign up on my website and then I'll email you when it's ready. And yeah, then I'm starting this Hello Sensitive Club. We're probably going to start next month. It will just be rolling, ongoing. And then I'm also doing an event next Wednesday, the 26th, which is a workshop on being highly sensitive, where I'm going to share some more about these kind of tips that have worked for me and things that have really supported me in that, being able to really thrive as a highly sensitive person. So all of everything really will be on my website, which is bohuntress.com. The sensitive stuff will be under Hello Sensitive, and the music will be there as well. And then Facebook, I'm just Boe Huntress on Facebook and Instagram and all the things. Yeah. I'd love to chat to anyone. Please do let me know where you've come from, if you've come from here. Just to hear from you.
Yes, wonderful. We've got some really lovely comments as well, Bo, if you have time to have a little look in the group.
Will do.
Hi Rosa. Rosa's saying such beautiful music you make. And Val saying, I love that, Kate, that in the past we've been both the witches or the witch hunters. And I looked into my ancestry recently, and as suspected, I'm a typical Brazilian with a mixture of European, African, and Native Indigenous. It's part of my healing to accept that in my DNA is both the enslaved as well as the oppressor.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, just got tingles on that one. Yes, amazing. And Joe saying, thank you so much. Love your music, Bo. I'll have a look at your website. So it's bohuntress.com. Oh, so let's finish with one last juicy question for you, Bo. So how, from this place of being sensitive and then having creative ambitions, how do you recommend that people navigate that blend of creative dreams, creative ambitions, and a highly sensitive system?
Yeah, really good question. It's definitely been a learning curve for me, having that ambition and that drive. I just used to want to be on stages, but it was a terrifying experience, or is a terrifying experience for my nervous system. That constantly felt like this struggle within me of a bit of a push-pull of just driven to do it, not really sure why, and yet at the same time terrified, and it would take a huge toll on me. So I just learned through practice of all of the self-care around it. What do I need to do beforehand? I actually found that it became quite helpful for me to really get in touch with my kind of wild, almost aggression part that would help me to get on stage. That would be what if I just was a wild creature? And this kind of claiming of something, claiming of myself. And that was that became my go-to thing to do before getting on stage, because there would be this, frightened girl who just the whole thing just so overwhelming. And so then I would just call upon this kind of more wild creature that maybe doesn't really care so much what people think, and is just kind of much more instinctual.
Yes.
But anyway, that's on the performing side. And then I think just on the creative side, again, just like that real acknowledgement and permission to really be what you are. I think for me, it's been a long journey of just actually accepting all of the different ways that I am. And sometimes those things feel a bit at odds with each other, but actually just just getting to that place of like, this is the being that I am, and all of it is really juicy and beautiful, even in its edges and difficult places. So I think just self-acceptance has been a massive part of it for me.
Thank
just keep following those dreams, just keep being fed by them. I think that for me is like that, whatever that drive has been, just trusting like, this is where I'm meant to be, this is what I'm meant to be doing, and letting the dream itself kind of provide the energy that's needed.
Because it will. I love that. Let that wild creature be fed by the dreams. And follow them. Wow, thank you, Bo. I've had the best time. And I can see from the comments and engagements that it's been a really enriching conversation for many others. So thank you. And thank you for sharing this wisdom of, in order to be out there sharing our creativity, number one, we have to be taking care of ourselves so we're ready for when that creativity arises. The importance of listening and knowing that it's okay to need what we need, and this beautiful message of absolute self-acceptance and accepting all the ways that you are you. I love that so much. So thank you.
Thanks, Kate. It's been so wonderful to spend this time with you and with everybody. I will pop into the Facebook group at some point today and come and say hi and see the comments and stuff. So thanks for everyone who's here.
Beautiful. All right, bye for now. We'll
Bye.
both come in and answer if there are questions, but thank you for tuning in to this highly sensitive, wildly successful conversation.